Welcome to Centre Court here at the 2022 Australian Championships for Australian Beach Volleyball Tour. This is the culmination of our entire season, and today is our Super Saturday before we get on with our sensational Sunday. And right now you're about to see the quarterfinal. Our first seeds taking on our fourth seeds. Nikki Laird and Phoebe Bell taking on Jess Ngauamo and Jana Milutinovic. And this is going to be an absolute rip-snorting, barnstorming something or other.
Knock them down, drag them out.
Club them over their head and drag them on into the cave.
Yeah,
this is Jonathan Fogarty.
It is me. And John O'Cannon, which is you. Lovely to be here. Thank you. We're introducing our officials for this match. The one and only Mr. Andrew Scottford. Boy, they don't make them like him anymore. And our second referee, Miss Tanya Tremaine, is out there as well. They're introducing the number one seeds, Nikki Laird, the Rio 2016 Olympian, and her new partner, Phoebe Bell. So a left and right-hand combination, fresh back from Tlaxcala in Mexico, where they've started their World Tour relationship. They played together years and years ago. So Nikki, the taller of the two ladies in pink, Phoebe Bell, the left-hander. Jana, the taller of the two ladies, hatless, in the sort of aquamarine, I don't know, blue. And
Wait, guys, this is blue.
Jess Ngauamo in the visor. Gold Coast girl. So representing the Gold Coast. We are ready to go, as John O'Cannon said. Quarterfinal, a spot in the final four. We are underway.
Easy as you like. Down the line from Jana first up. Now, we mentioned that Nikki and Phoebe are a new pairing, but as you touched on, possibly in some of their first events, teamed up years and years and years and years ago. And some people may recall that it was Nikki and Jess that were playing quite recently. It was only just last year. So a little bit of shuffling of the deck.
I'm sure it won't be awkward for them at all.
No, I'm sure there won't be anything in this match. Sarcasm comes through on YouTube very well.
Wherever you're watching on the Oz Volley YouTube channel, welcome and hello. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Give us a shout out. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you're cheering for.
Yeah, we just had a huge insurgence of the Philippines viewership. So that was brilliant for the last game. But right now we're in the quarterfinals. So once again, still do or die. But right now, that swinging southpaw, what a great up.
Two in a row from Ngauamo.
Oh, bang!
Goodness me.
Ngauamo on defense says, nah, mate, I got this.
All day long. Gosh, that was a fascinating response too on the back of that play. Of course, just going back to the relationship change-ups in here, I know Nikki Laird played with Jess Ngauamo for a year back in 2017. She also played in 2017 with Phoebe Bell, and now she's back side by side with Phoebe Bell. So lots of history on both sides of the net for Nikki Laird. Let's see who she can match up with the best today. That's going to be a nice touch from Jana, and Nikki's dragging it down.
This is Jess and Jana's first tournament together. So we touched on it earlier. They're sort of my dark horse for this tournament. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. But a fresh pairing, Jana and Jess. Jana, obviously, with Mears prior to this. That's young Kayla Mears. We saw Kayla just earlier get sadly knocked out for her. But look, new pairings are always going to be interesting to start with. But as you say, just like a fresh, new romantic relationship can be quite exciting.
Wow,
Speaking of,
exciting is the defense of Jess Ngauamo. How is the savvy from Jess? She saw an opportunity to put the first ball away and just took it shamelessly. Way to make a point. So 4-2, the number 4 seeds leading the number 1 seed. So that's interesting. Home court advantage for Ngauamo, perhaps. She grew up on the Gold Coast, as we said. She was part of that wonderful volleyball school at Ashmore. That is a nice block and a tough serve as well with the breeze behind her back. So really nice start for Jana and Phoebe. Sorry, there you go. I've already done it. Jana and Jess. Gosh.
Stay with us, folks.
Oh, I'm trying. There's so many names to remember. What was yours, Jono? 5-2. Great start, the number 4 seeds. with a point to prove, we are perhaps positing good start.
Oh, that left hand, it just opens up so many more avenues. I don't know why, but lefties, they just trouble everyone.
Well, they do trouble everyone.
Including lefties.
And they really do, speaking from experience. And it's interesting, I've been watching a little bit of Nikki and Phoebe play when they were playing in Mexico and some of their training that they've been doing. And they've been playing a little bit intuitively in that Phoebe's not always been on the left side. She's played a bit of right side and Nikki's played a bit on the left. So they're not playing the classical left-hand, right-hand structure all the time. So it'd be interesting to see if Nikki stays on the right-hand side and Phoebe stays on the left. They've been mixing it up, which has been a part of their tactical approach to some of these games.
Might be obviously part of their tactics and part of their setup, but opening up a more expansive game. And I know that when a person in a defensive position gets in the right position, but all of a sudden the ball is expected on the left-hand side of that defense, is all of a sudden on the right-hand side, you can just put your hips and your stance and your platform a little bit out of whack, and all of a sudden you go, I'm here. Why did I bugger that up?
Absolutely. Well, 7-3. It's a solid start. Jana and Jess have started really strong. That's a better set for Nikki Laird, and she'll pounce on that one. Come on, Phoebe. Ooh. Indeed, is the urge, the request from Nikki Laird. The ball before that, I think Phoebe tried to set too perfect the ball for Nikki, and it floated right on top of the net. And Jana is quite a tall athlete. Jana Milutinovic was able to pounce on the previous one, but that one held back a little, so it was a nice set. It's going to be Jess against Nikki. Here's their transition opportunity. Phoebe Bell in the middle of the court. The line opens up beautifully for the lefty. It's classical.
Yep, that's what we were talking about with Phoebe being from that left side with left hand, just opening up different parts of court. It means the defender has to hold the hard cross court more, and she can own the line a lot better.
And as soon as you bring the spiking player into the middle of the court, the blocker, whether they're blocking line or cross court, all of a sudden it's almost like there's a third zone. I could hit hard middle, I can hit cross court, I could hit line. So it's a good way, as you say, of bringing the defensive structure a little bit out of their comfort zone. And that's an error. So that's a nice little mini comeback. That's going to give Nikki Laird and Phoebe Bell plenty of confidence. 6-7. They started sluggishly, but perhaps that's not giving Jana and Jess enough credit. So 6-7 now, the scoreboard. Phoebe Bell back at the service line. They go back to Ngauamo. Ngauamo, though, composed. I think she saw out of the corner of her eye that Phoebe Bell had broken down the line defensively. Took it cross court for a side change at 8-6. John O'Cannon, this match, look, on paper, should be the number 1 seeds of Nikki and Phoebe's to take, but number 4 seeds, there's a bit of fight in this combination. Yeah,
the new combination brings new opportunities for them, but also new, what is it? New, I'm getting slightly distracted from some hand signals from your good self. It's also going to bring new structures for the opposition to try to read and try to guess and try to be for. So I think we've maybe even not spoken enough about already Jana. She's a tremendous athlete in her own right, part of that new program, and she's just joined herself or found herself with Jess. They had a little bit of a hiccup yesterday, and they find themselves in a position where their tournament is still alive, but. Hey, those kinks and cobwebs can get blown out anyway.
Absolutely, and that is
a great... They train every day.
Of course. Nikki Laird there with an ace. That's a great serve for 8-all. So the number 1 seeds back on even terms with the number 4 seeds. Nikki and Phoebe in the pink tops. This is Nikki Laird back at the service line. That searching float serve of hers. She's not going to stay in block. Her defensive position pretty good. Can she get up and transition? Not on this occasion. So Jess versus Nikki again.
Smart. Yes. She was so tight to that net. She went the different angle. You'll see that if you've got that replay function, that she went wider, approached along the line of the net rather than straight on it, went one-footed, which we don't usually see on the spike approach, and just wiped And tooled.
Tooled it away for a 9-8 scoreboard. This is Phoebe Bell returning the favour. That's a nice clean swing. We haven't talked a lot about Phoebe yet, but her offence, we saw her playing Cobram really, really well, and I was really impressed with the way she dragged herself back into that grand final that they played.
That was stunning, and she'd only just got back from Doha recently.
Yeah, absolutely, which she played that Queen of the Court. So her experience, Phoebe Bell, should not be underplayed. She's a very experienced athlete now. That set's going to sit right into Nikki's sweet spot. Goodness me. A little bit of a overplay there from Jana. Again, you might see the flags a little bit pushing that ball, well, into the blocking hands of Nikki Laird, and she pounced. And they take the lead 10-9, the number 1 seeds sticking their nose in front in this first set.
I like the aggressive nature of those types of sets, but you have to get a play on the ball. And if you don't, you have to be ready to wear it. We've got one more point before the technical timeout. It's a handy 2-point buffer to our number 1 seeds. Phoebe Bell with the serve. Nikki Laird with the signal. She's ready to block. She's talking some smack. She likes doing that. A little bit in this. Nice. It's too tight again, but the secondary push from Ngauamo, and it's a joust winner. She's going to love that.
Well, they needed that one. That was 3 overpasses in a row, but they didn't pay on the third one, and they'll go into the chairs on the break. First set action. Well, welcome back to centre court action. John O'Cannon joins me, Jonathan Fogarty, for a quarterfinal match late on a Saturday afternoon here at Coolangatta Beach. What a good one, John O'Cannon, we have in store.
Mate, it's the backdrop is stunning. The storms are staying away. The sun's shining through and the breeze is coming through from the south, and it's quite pleasant. But pleasantries have been put aside.
With 10 points to 11, Jana and Jessyka serving, but trailing by 1. Nikki Laird going to get an opportunity.
Ooh.
Cuts a little bit of luck off the block.
I think she knows it too.
12-10, a little bit of a grimace.
Directed at us, maybe.
No, I think she dodged a bit of a bullet there, but that's okay. 12-10, first set. So much to play for. Winner of this goes through to the final 4 and a semi-final. The loser will be exited from the tournament, and they'll take a 5th place. So for both the number 1 and the number 4 seeds, one of these teams will perform below their seeding, and you never want that when they get defeated today. We're not sure who it is yet. Oh, Phoebe Bell's defense. She is everywhere. That's a terrible, terrible handset, though.
Not so nice.
Oh, and she's been working so hard on a transition setting too, Nikki Laird. I do know that for a fact. So that'll disappoint her. Phoebe working overtime to get the ball back onto her head. And the double hit will disappoint them. So 11-12.
That's not going to help proceedings.
Yeah, that's a charity returned.
Yeah.
The volleyball karma is evened out here on centre court. As we said, the team of Nicole Laird and Phoebe Bell returning from that World Tour event in Tlaxcala in Mexico, where they tried to qualify for the main draw. They had a win and a loss. But all important World Tour rankings points were earned.
Yeah, very important. Very important for the long game, with Olympic qualifications being so quick and so close around the corner. Only being a short turnaround from Tokyo last year. Moving on to Paris in only almost 2.5 years' time now. Jeez, this time's getting away from us.
Blink of an eye, transition opportunity. Nikki Laird will get a swing, showing a little bit of volleyball IQ on that occasion. So easy, often, Jono, and I know you know the sensation. You get that transition dig, you want to jump up and absolutely melt that spike. But Nikki controlling her urges and just going for an intelligent shot down the line. That shows great knowledge and great composure.
I think that's the perfect word, composure.
And then backs
To
it
back
up
it
with a
up.
serve. That's an important point at an important time in
Yeah.
the first set. 15-12 just opens up a little bit of breathing space over Ngauamo and Milutinovic. So that's an important stage of this first set. Continues the service pressure.
There's
Jana.
Milutinovic's chance to go bang.
Bada bing.
Bada boom.
We will change ends at 13-15. The two Jonathans weirdly in sync. If you're wondering who's who, John O'Cannon is the much younger one.
Jonathan Fogarty's the much older.
Right, it is true. But the true stars of this broadcast on centre court right now, the number one seeds, Nikki Laird and Phoebe Bell up against Jess Ngauamo and Jana Milutinovic. And a service error will send Phoebe Bell back and a 16-13 scoreboard. So just starting to turn in favour of the team in pink. Our number one seeds probably at the favoured end of the beach, serving into the breeze. Phoebe Bell, so experienced. She's going to use this breeze to good effect, surely. Oh, and she
stretch
does.
down the middle.
Wow, that so easily could have caught the sideline. Nikki Laird was a bit of a passenger, just kind of watched that shank go back over the net. She's in a much better position than we are to judge if that was in or out, but it didn't miss the sideline by a great margin. Could have been awkward, but no, nice leave. 17-13 now.
Second chance for Jana here. Big set, big swing, finds a way through the blocker.
Oh, you hate that.
Oh. And you just know as a blocker, didn't seal the net, didn't quite get the right position. You thought a big roof was coming.
Not to be.
And no.
Alrighty, so the time is now for Jess Ngauamo and Jana Milutinovic. Jess is back at the service line. They trail by 3, 14-17. First set action. Only one team will go through to Sunday, and the semi-finals, will it be the number one seeds in pink or the underdogs in blue? Our number 4 seeds of Jess and Jana. The new combination, as John O'Cannon has told us. But the composure and the experience at the moment is telling through. Phoebe Bell, Nikki Laird, 18-14. Looking comfortable, but not completely at ease, John O'Cannon.
Well, it certainly tends to be the ones that have got, whether it's more game experience or at least teammate experience, that in these tight affairs sort of starts to shine through, especially if no team has really grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. But knowing Jess and knowing Jana, they are going to be quite tenacious in this second set, which looks to be coming quicker than we thought.
By the time you started that sentence to now, they have ratcheted up another point on a tough float serve from Nikki Laird. 19-14. Nikki with this sort of trademark. It's only a semi-jump. She doesn't put in a full jump, but she gets enough downward pressure on the ball to really ask questions with that float serve. And the questions have been answered. Jess Ngauamo. She seems so sweet when you meet her, but she has got a nasty streak when it comes to a second ball play like that. 15-19.
She got such a great transition from her defense. Obviously, that one was the 2-ball quick attack, but I don't think I've seen, certainly in the women's game, a stronger shoulder and a more snappy wrist. That's what she got here. Bang. There it is.
Exhibit
Both
A, B, and C, Your Honour. The defence rests. There is no rest for Jess Ngauamo and Jana Milutinovic. 16-19. So there's still a little bit of life in this first set campaign for the number 4 seeds.
Can we see the good end come good?
Yeah, this is the time. 5 good serves and you win the set. There's one. Maybe. It's going to be a free ball at the very least. Phoebe jacking it up high.
Jeepers.
Adrian Karambula style.
Oi.
Oh, do you mind?
Sneaky knuckles.
Jana forcing a timeout. 17-19. Well, that's a really nice play. And she cracks a smile, Jana, and why not?
2022 Australian Championships is going on right now here at Coolangatta Beach, but that is just the beginning of Volley Slam. We have 4 events that make up Volley Slam. Right now, the Oz Championships, then the Australian Youth Beach Volleyball Championships. Over 160 teams from all over Australia and NZ. And then the Australian Beach Volleyball Schools Cup. And then culminating with the Australian World Beach Pro Tour Gold Coast Futures event.
All right, athletes back out, 17-19. Nikki and Phoebe just need to side this one out, and they'll have a set point. Oh, but Ngauamo is incorrigible in defense. But Phoebe Bell hits the winner. You heard the celebration.
Whew, the bell tolled for thee.
Set point. Ring-a-ding-ding. That is some wonderful defense from Ngauamo. But Phoebe, nice and composed. There's that word again. 2017-3 set points for our #1 seeds. Phoebe will go back to the service line and ask questions of Jana.
Ooh.
But Nikki answers them. 21-17. First set is in the bag. Nikki Laird. Phoebe Bell. 1 set up.
This is a place where I don't feel alone. This is a place that I call my home.
Back here for set number 2 here on centre court between our #1 and #4 seeds. The women's quarter-final. And somehow Phoebe and Nikki stayed in that point. It was a great first serve from the girls in blue at the good end over there on the north side there. But they just kept in it, kept at it. Ball went over about 4 or 5 times and somehow snuck its way in over on a free ball. Back with Phoebe Bell on serve. Jana with a big swing and cannot control it.
Yeah, nice swing. 1 point all. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on the Oz Volley YouTube channel. Give us a shout out. Leave some comments. Give John O'Cannon some love. He needs the endorphin hit. It's late on a Saturday. He's been working all day.
I just need a dose a day.
Just a little bit of something special for John O'Cannon. But these ladies, there's something special. Phoebe Bell getting roofed, though, from Jana. The ball getting right into that trouble zone on the net. And Jana Milutinovic, the least experienced of the 4 athletes. I don't think that's unkind to say.
No, not at all.
3 of the other ladies all got World Tour experience. We've got an Olympian out there in Nikki Laird. So Jana really looking at home in this company.
Yeah, great spot on the block there. Really forced the issue for Nikki to go hard and tight, but she just swung far too hard for the space she had. And tanked it out the side, really.
Yeah, certainly did. Went a little sharp. Hit more of the side of the ball than the top of the ball. You want to see the athlete getting their hand snapping over the top of the ball to get the top spin, not the side spin. And that's no spin. That's a service error from Jana. They're those little moments. And if you want to elevate your game, you've just got that really good play. I'm such a fan of getting that next ball in when you've drawn an error out of the opposition. Hit them again. They've just got that little confidence dip that they've had when they've made that error. Hit them again. Put them on their back feet again. But serving into the net just seems like a waste of time, and that is not a waste of Ngauamo's time. That is a sweet swing of the ball.
I think Jana will really relish this opportunity. They were only 4 points in arrears in the first set, and I think they're a better team than that, and they can certainly play a lot better. So I'm I really think that this is going to be a lot tighter this set. I may be proved wrong.
Well, you are rarely wrong, John O'Cannon. Let's wait and see. 4-2 the scoreboard now. Of course, just to repeat, the number 1 seeds in the pink, Nikki Laird and Phoebe Bell, took the first set. But they can't count their chickens just yet up against a really good number 4 seed. Yes, a new combination, and it's always a little bit hard, Jono. You know, these girls all train against each other, as you've talked about, and they know each other's games pretty well. But when a new combination forms, they're more than the sum of their parts. So for Nikki and Phoebe, they're not quite exactly sure of how Jess and Jana are going to play. They've got their suspicions, but sometimes magic happens when a new team comes together and you just don't know what to expect. Wow, that's back in play, but out. Goodness me. Little apology coming, no doubt, from Nikki Laird as she is absolutely six-packed Jess Ngauamo off the block and into her face. But the compassion shown by Nikki Laird, you can just see it overflowing. I know, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Eye of the tiger from Nikki Laird. Ooh. See, that's the opportunity. See, that's the experience. Phoebe Bell hits Jess Ngauamo again. She's just had her brain rattled and gets the error. And that's that little bit of experience between Phoebe Bell and Jana that she could learn from. She just saw her partner, Nikki Laird, absolutely clean the clock of Jess Ngauamo, blocking the ball back into her face, and she hits her again. So we've got a 4-5 scoreboard now. And makes that 6-4.
It really is that game of inches. So we spoke about in the previous game with the Philippines girls. They had a lot more experience, but it's those decisive moments of, do I go for this ball? Is she in the right spot? X, Y, Z. And various scenarios that are obviously going to be coming up in each of the games and sets. But it's, we think, a more experienced duo that are going to get through those moments, especially when a new duo hasn't started to really got their ball rolling yet. And they could strike fire. However, they haven't yet, so they really need to start to just sort of gel a little bit.
Absolutely.
Like a little bit of you and I.
A little bit of ebony and ivory here. And that's the experience, though, again, of Phoebe Bell. She's made both her serves really count, and now she's backed Jess and Jana into a corner and forced them to use their timeout. And it's really early in a second set of a sudden death set for a team at 4 points to 6 down to call their timeout. Yep. So if this set goes long and gets tight, for Jana and Jess, they're not going to be able to use the timeout, and then backs it up.
What a serve.
How often do you see teams come out of the timeout and miss their serve? Not Phoebe Bell. Her experience, absolutely electric on that occasion, makes every point a winner.
And a change up from the serve receive. So they still target Jess, but now she's had to change. She got up there. She had an open look. There was a retreating blocker, but that's now 4 errors from the girls in blue. And puts more pressure on Jana to maybe do a little bit more in an unfamiliar scenario, but also Jess, who's sadly started to dig herself a little bit of a hole with 3 or 4 errors in a row. But then Jana, the youngster.
Interestingly, and I don't know if that was a mishit from Phoebe. I mean, they'd been drilling Jess Ngauamo with their serve. They'd swap left and right, right and left, and it had been paying dividends, but they hit Jana instead, and she's hit a nice clean winner. So the least experienced of the two, Jana actually was the one that stood up and got that really important side out that they needed. They trail, though, 5 points to 8. Phoebe Bell's going to run a back set. The line opens up for her.
Great control from Jess.
Oh, but that's trouble. That's big trouble.
She's got it again, though.
Ooh.
Can she crack one? She doesn't, but she's got it again.
Nikki Laird hanging around like a nuisance on the net.
Get up. Oh, what an angle. What an angle.
Though.
However, no touch on the block, no. That ball goes just wide.
Called out. It's going to be in favour of Jessyka and Jana.
That gives us a very intriguing scoreline. Just 6-8. 2 points in it. Change of ends. This is, I would dare say crunch time through anything, but it's crunch time. Time to start rolling.
Jana, over her shoulder, she's coming up with some really clutch plays at the moment.
Yep. And it's got the number 1 seeds, in that example at least, just second-guessing each other.
On their back foot, 7-8 now.
They've had it all in their own sort of ballpark, a little bit more in their control. So let's see how Jess and Jana can really start to challenge the number 1 seeds. Because they've, there's a little bit of banter out there as well.
There is some feeling. Yeah. You always, look, when you come up against an ex-partner in a volleyball sense, you always want to be victorious. You want to have a really strong match. So that is pretty strong from Nikki Laird. Imperious.
I would have loved to have seen Jana just take one more step to her right then.
I don't think it would have mattered. That was an absolute masterclass.
I think Jess might have liked that too.
When Nikki Laird uses all 6'3" of her available real estate, she can be really, really forbidding with her spiking. I want to see more of that from Nikki Laird, where she absolutely crushes the ball, but then couldn't respond from the service line. So they're just keeping Jess and Jana interested in this second set, John O'Cannon, aren't they? It can't quite break away. They've had some really bright moments, but all credit to Jana particularly has really been up for a dogfight in this second set.
Great serve from Jess. Tight set.
That's going to be a couple of hits. I don't think that would have been a legal play. Yeah. So Jana again, just standing up, not showing too much emotion, just showing a stern outer demeanor. 9 points apiece. The second set is warming up nicely here. A spot in the Final Four tomorrow, John O'Cannon. Beckons, but who does it call and who will answer? Semi-final saying, come to me tomorrow. Phoebe Bell decides
gets a touch. No,
to change. So incorrectly, by the way, Benoa High School was the high school I was incorrectly trying to recognise where Jess Ngauamo, the local lady, came from. Benoa High. Big shout out to all the Benoa High crew. What a wonderful volleyball nursery Benoa has been over many, many years here on the Gold Coast. Nice pass from the Benoa girl, but the overpass. Can Phoebe Bell get amongst it? Oh, nice up.
Oh, she's done magnificently, Ngauamo. 10-all. We saw ourselves with a 3-point deficit at the first change of ends, then a 2-point deficit at the next. And we're going to be, well, down to only 1 point at the tech timeout.
Yeah, who's it going to be? Just Ngauamo finding some groove.
The number 4 seeds have really pegged it back. They haven't done it in runs, but they've done it over time and just enough. What can they do for this last one before the break? Oh, would have crushed that.
Well,
the secondary push.
Phoebe Bell.
Yeah.
Standing strong. So 11-10, the technical timeout. Set number 2, the number 1 seeds, Nikki Laird. Phoebe Bell leading by 1.
Back here on centre court for the Australian Beach Volleyball Tour Championships. The final, the culmination of this entire season comes down to now. Well, not quite now, but tomorrow certainly. But right now it's going to be that for one of these teams. It's the number 4 seeds trailing just by 1 point. The girls in blue of Ngauamo and Milutinovic taking on the number 1 seeds in magenta. The Magic women in magenta. The number 1 seeds in Nikki Laird and Phoebe Bell. I'm joined by Jonathan Fogarty once again.
It's a privilege to be here, John O'Cannon. Really enjoying, love being on my home beach. Proud Gold Coaster, repping Southeast Queensland all over the world on the Oz Volley YouTube channel. We are here all week, as you said, Volley Slam, and then the World Tour Futures event. The end of next week, really looking forward to that one as well. Nikki Laird will be there, putting up those gruesome mitts of hers, just loitering with intent.
The clamps.
The clamps. 2 big hairy mitts just crushing that ball down. 13-10. Nikki got a point to prove, I think. She's the one that changed up the combination. She decided she wanted to make a change. Jess was not necessarily the partner for right now going forward. She's decided to play with Phoebe. So there's a It's a point to prove here. But Jana has just quietly performed really solidly, John O'Cannon. Very few errors and looks really poised.
Yeah, certainly in this second set. She probably got Jess out of a bit of a hole in the early stages in the first 2 end changes. So it was really good to see. Like, she's a tremendous athlete in her own right, but finding herself amongst the big gals of the tour, she may have been forgiven for, deer in the headlights moment, but she has taken this by the proverbial scruff of the neck. But right now, that tech timeout has gone the way of Nikki and Phoebe. They found the number 4 seeds really on the march, coming for them. But they've just extended to that quite handy buffer of 3 points here in the mid-stage.
They've come out with a 3-1 run out of the tech timeout and make that a 4-1 run. That ace, Phoebe Bell's serving particularly from the northern end of the beach, the ocean side end, because of the way the beach is laid out here at Coolangatta. That's to the north where she's standing. She's really made the serve count 15-11. And again, it's just that important part of the set where you just can't make too many errors for Jess and Jana, though. They've got to find a way back in. That's a good start.
Now, folks, question without notice. Would you have expected Jess to have been served so much?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Pairing?
I would have thought if they looked at it from an experience point of view, you're in a quarterfinal. Jana's been here a little bit, but not nearly as much as Jess Ngauamo, who's a World Tour player. But I think Phoebe and Nikki have trained so much against Jess that they think they've got a strategy, they've got a plan.
An easier read, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. And they're making it count. Nikki Laird with a lovely deep shot into the corner. So they're going to change with a 16-12 scoreboard and big smiles on their faces. They are enjoying this quarterfinal, safe to say.
Well, I did call it very early, you said, in that second set, or this second set, that it was time to go. Right now, this is the last roll of the dice.
And it is, and this is that timeout they called earlier for Jess and Jana. They're kind of at the whim now of the volley gods.
Yep.
If they get on a roll like this, or they against them, the momentum starts to really slip away. That's just one less thing they can use. I think the sunglasses will get dirty in a minute if they have to waste a little bit of time, but that's a nice swing.
Maybe that's why they weren't serving Milutinovic.
Well, she's made every opportunity really shine in this match. So 13-16, they are within touching distance, but this serve from Jess Ngauamo, it's a pivotal serve. Either 14-16 or 17-13 is a big difference in a sudden death second set. Oh, and it sits up perfectly.
Can we see Jana absolutely take it to the girls? They forced the timeout.
Wow.
They're still that 2-point buffer behind, but can they get on a little bit of a roll? Is this just breaking momentum, or is this a little bit more of a last-ditch effort? And
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, John O'Cannon.
What's that, folks?
Is the live action of the beach volleyball finals, both on YouTube, on the AusVolley channel, and on SBS Viceland. Ooh. So the bronze matches will be 11:30 a.m. for the women and 12:30 p.m. for the men on the YouTube AusVolley channel and on SBS On Demand. And then the gold matches will be on SBS Live at 2 p.m. for the ladies and 3 p.m. for the men live.
Outstanding. We'll be hearing your dulcet tones, obviously.
Unfortunately, yes, but you can turn the sound down and listen to the live stream of John O'Cannon. You can get the best of both worlds. It's like with my charisma and Jono's rig. It's the perfect man. Everyone's thinking it. I say it. So looking forward to that on SBS.
I'm glad we'll get pulled from YouTube for that. We're back out here now. Dying stages of the second set. Which way it goes, we're not quite sure just yet. It's shaping up as either any and all.
I want a 3-setter. I want a 5-setter.
I want a draw.
No, I want a tie. I want a tie. There ain't no ties
Good touch.
in this boardroom. Nice touch, Nikki Laird. She got what it takes to get up and bang.
Oh, she does.
She
but
surely
who's touched the net?
does. Oh, Jana.
Jana.
Uncharacteristic fishing expedition from Jana. Milutinovic. Well, that's a shame. That point had so much promise. But that out of the back of the timeout. And as we said, the sunglasses cleaning.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Oh, no, it's just a little tiny time delay. It all counts. 17-14 now. It is Phoebe Bell back to the southern end of Coolangatta. Serving tough. It's going to be a free ball.
That's nothing free about that.
Oh,
Has
it's
that tagged
out.
the line? No, it hasn't.
No, what a shame for Jana and Jess. They're looking a little bit dejected on the back of that point. Who is going to be the one from the fourth seeds to drag them back into this second set? They go to Jana again. Oh,
That's
high and hard.
nice. Maybe this is that tactics that we were talking about. Go to Jess most of the day, and then just toward the end of the game, cheap points maybe from Jana, who hasn't passed and attacked as much, and then the pressure's right on her. But she's really standing up. This is really impressive from the young lady.
15-18 now. Ngauamo just looks a little proppy. I don't know if she's 100% as fit as she'd like to be. Keep an eye on that. Oh, good touch from Nikki
Here we
Laird.
go.
But Phoebe has touched the net. You heard the whistle, no doubt, over the coverage. 16-18 now. So near enough if they're good enough. Jana and Jess. Jana Milutinovic and Jessyka Ngauamo down 1-0 and down 16-18 in the second, but there is still a pulse until you serve into the net, unfortunately. And that is a shame.
Change of ends. Could it be a change of fortunes? Just 2 points in it.
The statuesque Nikki Laird back to the service line. Can she get a block on her old partner? Back in Nikki's face, but it's back into play. Nikki Laird, can she clear her vision, clear her mind, and clear the decks? Because Nikki Laird has popped the ball up off her face and brought up 4 match points for a spot in the semi-finals tomorrow. Well, for Jess and Jana, there is not much left. It needs a miracle. Have they got something special to give us on Saturday afternoon at Coolangatta Beach? That's going to help. So
Hello.
Service error.
Hello. What have we got here?
Knock, knock. Who's there?
3 match points.
Captain
3
comeback.
match points. Who?
17-20. This serve's got to go in from Jess. Captain obvious at your service. She does that. Phoebe Bell.
Catches it deep.
Oh, it's going to be a trouble ball for Phoebe, so up she goes. Jess on the 1, Jana on the 2. Oh, great touch, Phoebe Bell. But they can't get her back.
Hey.
Well, 18-20.
Hey.
Are you up? 18-20, 2 points taken back. 2 match points remain. Bell, Laird need to refocus.
Oh, she's rolled it. All right.
She's
we're
going to
back
get a
on
swing.
Yes, Jana.
Oh,
Well played, youngster.
My goodness.
Give me the ball.
There were 4 match points on the board. Now there's just one. 19-20. The number 1 seeds not having it all their own way. Jess Ngauamo, 1 match point remains.
Bruno Memento, per favor.
They hit Nikki Laird again. The pass is good. The set is excellent.
Got it.
Ngauamo's defense, pristine. Oh,
the
what a
decision.
shame.
The decision to go up and go 2
Oh.
or try to carry it back off the net. Unfortunate for the girls in blue. What a fight they had. Oh, sensational stuff. Sadly for them, they are now out of the tournament. Congratulations to Jess and the new pairing with Jana. Proved quite formidable, but just couldn't quite get it in the end. And it's Nikki Laird and Phoebe Bell, our number 1 seeds, going through the semi-final. Congratulations, girls. What a quarter.